Coleen Nolan versus Roxanne Pallet. Which celebrity is worse? Now I know this might seem like trivial celebrity news to most of you, but it actually covers a lot of issues: political, sociological, psychological, the economics of being a celebrity. There's a lot to talk about in this video, but really I'm just going to focus on the apologies themselves and see which one is more sincere. So first comes the introduction.
So Roxanne, this whole situation started almost a week ago now. There seems to be a lot of things unanswered, especially from a viewer's point of view. I don't know how much you've watched back.
Let's get this out of the way. Kim Woodburn.
So the key difference is that the ITV interview tries to gloss over the issue because obviously Coleen Nolan is an ITV employee, whereas Celebrity Big Brother is trying to dig into the issue as much as possible. By digging in, they get ratings, and they keep the show going. You have to think about these companies as media brands. So Emma Willis is her own brand who wants to disassociate from Roxanne Pallet. But the ITV brand, Holly, Phil and Coleen, all work together, and therefore they're trying to convey her in a much more positive light because she's owned by the ITV brand. Roxanne Pallet is not owned by Channel 5 or Celebrity Big Brother. Next comes the excuse.
How it felt when he did it, it hurt. I can't prove a feeling. No one can. And the more I thought about it, it became heightened, and I just felt, I convinced myself he meant to do that.
Oh, I honestly, I don't know what to say. If I could go back in time, I would change the whole thing because it was never meant to be like that. I honestly, genuinely thought that she was coming on to make amends. That's what I was told that was going to happen, and we were going to have a laugh about it and make amends.
I notice how Phil put it in there. That's because this accusation threatens the reputation of ITV because the production company set up that interview with Kim Woodburn. Roxanne, on the other hand, has less legs to stand on because she's only got herself to blame in this case. So then comes the apology and the talk about the response.
Because I saw what every single person saw, and I don't blame anyone for thinking, why did she, first of all, make light of it, joke it off, kind of skip off? I'm more shocked at myself than anyone out there is. I need to go away and think about why I use humour when something actually bothered me in my mind.
None of us wanted that. I don't like to see anybody in that much distress, how she was in the end, you know, and it was just one of those things. It's been the worst.
So notice how Coleen talks about us, but Roxanne talks about I, myself, I. That shows that Coleen believes that this incident has a collective responsibility. So then comes the waterworks.
Week of my life, actually.
Oh, God.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right, it's all right. Nobody, well, it's horrible seeing you like this because you're always such a happy person when you're in here and everything, and it's horrible.
I'm so sorry, I didn't think I was going to cry.
No, that's all right.
Could you forgive you?
I would want to.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget that these shows are made for specific audiences as well. Celebrity Big Brother is a reality show. People like arguments and coldness and drama. This Morning is a morning daytime show. People like more kind of warm, friendlier responses, unless of course it's Jeremy Kyle. But what I'm saying is This Morning has a very kind of family-friendly audience. Celebrity Big Brother is much more about the rawness. But to me, both of these responses by the interviewees seem slightly rehearsed. Let me know if you think that in the comments below. Roxanne's crying came right at the end of the interview, showing that there was little to no remorse apart from feeling sorry for herself. This came very early on in the interview, which implied that she was trying to kind of gloss over it and get to the next bit of the positive part of the interview. And to me, they both seem fabulously staged. So then comes the wider political argument.
Did you ever consider the implications that it would have on him? Can you imagine if those cameras hadn't been there? You would have ruined somebody.
I feel devastated. It cripples me with embarrassment and shame that I could have put somebody in that position. It's the fact that I used the terminology like woman beater and I used words like assault and abuse.
And they talk about me being a bully or a horrible bully, and then they send me these revolting,
And there is no excuse
revolting
for messages.
things. And to the point where I said, I
are...
found my management and said to my kids, I cancelled everything last week after it, and I just said, I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore.
So Coleen Nolan has used the incident to bring up the effect of online bullying, making herself seem like the victim. Roxanne, on the other hand, brings up Me Too and domestic assault. Both are huge topics that need talking about in modern day society, but I fear that both these two incidents will trivialise them into reality TV, celebrity news, nonsense that doesn't get talked about because we don't want to talk about these things because we hate the people involved in them. When actually things like Me Too and online bullying and harassment at work and all those kind of things should constantly be talked about. It should also be that the accused get punished, but it's likely to be that they won't, or they'll somehow spin it in a way that they then become the villain who people love to hate and therefore get a lot of media coverage that way. So we also need to talk about the personal effect these incidents have had on these celebrities.
We'll never be friends, and that's fine,
Yeah.
you know, but I would never set out to bully her.
Yeah.
Do I react sometimes to being called everything she calls me? Yes, and sometimes I laugh because I think she's got a point. You know, but it's just been a really hard week.
Well, I think that...
Do you think in time you can have a career again?
I am scared about the future, but I to be honest, Emma, I need to just think about today. And today was important to me to come here and not just talk to you, but to talk to every single person that's been following the show, that's supporting me, that's supporting Ryan, that's involved in this. I need to say I got it wrong.
So the difference there is dramatic. Coleen's saying, oh, I've had a bad week. Roxanne's being interviewed and asking, is your career over? But what's really weird is the way that Roxanne says that she has people that support her. It's weird because I've seen a lot less people support Roxanne than I have seen support Coleen. I will say that Coleen's whole production around that interview seemed a lot more insincere from the point of ITV and This Morning than Roxanne and Celebrity Big Brother. But Coleen's incident can also be blamed on the production of Loose Women by ITV, whereas Roxanne really only has herself to blame. Therefore, I think her career will suffer more. But do you agree with me? Join in the debate below and subscribe.